Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 EX. This car's registered, I'll tell you in a minute, AO08CWL, and mileage at the start of the video is 59,987 miles. The reason we do the road tests is so people who are looking at the cars in the adverts actually get to see the very car in operation. We're aware that many of our customers come not just from the UK but Europe as well, so the least we can do is go to the time and effort to show this car in operation, but more importantly to tell you of any issues there might be with the vehicle before you come. That way it can save you a trip, basically, as rare as it might be, by the way. It's also done on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, so hopefully it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, engine starts instantly, press the button and whirs into life absolutely beautifully. Settles to completely smooth, even idle, and pulls really keenly and smoothly through the entire rev range of the car. It's just a lovely engine to use day in, day out. Very smooth, very quiet, so sweet revving. They really are a joyful engine to use. Whether you're just tootling about like this or driving with a bit more enthusiasm, they respond really well. It's a typical Honda engine in that sense. They're also incredibly efficient engines. I've had plenty of them, easily exceeded 45 to the gallon, but somewhere between 40 to 45 is about right for the car. I mean, it is a very economical engine, but also powerful too. No warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car for that matter. And temperature gauge, and the car's been running for some time now, is running at a third, which is exactly where it should be on the car. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch on the car is absolutely perfect, smooth. Bite point is exactly where it should be on the pedal travel, so all exactly as it should be there. Clutch then feeds through into this fabulous gearbox. It really is 6-speed, of course, but the quality of the gear change is typical of Honda. It's absolutely brilliant. It's short and throw, it's slick, it's got as I say, just a wonderfully precise actuation to it, as Hondas tend to be. So if you're a keen driver, you'll absolutely love it. But if you're someone that sort of struggles with gearboxes, this is a great gearbox because it's just so easy to get on with. And I can't feel any wear in it at all. Every gear change is exactly as it should be on the car. Steering of the vehicle, which is a real strong point in these Civics, it's very precise, it's very quick to react as well, so minimal turn to get the car moving, and the chassis responds beautifully with it. It tracks dead straight, there's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel at all at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit, speeds at which we're allowed to drive. But it's just, go through corners like that, tiniest movement, hardly any body roll in the car, and the car just goes as one. It's beautiful. I can't feel any slack or wear in the steering at all either. Chassis, again, what I'm looking for in road test is just any kind of noises coming from underneath the vehicle that shouldn't actually be there, any sort of chatterings or clonks, and there's nothing on this car at all. It's very smooth indeed. And the chassis, in terms of its dynamics, is lovely. Roads like this, it's very comfortable, far more comfortable than some road testers would have you believe. It really is, because suspension's actually all about compromise. If you want the ultimate handling car, you have a Formula 1 car that'll rattle your brains if you're going over any cobbled street, but obviously this has got to be used day in, day out for family use. So it's got to have a degree of comfort built in. Now, comfort, if you've got a lollopy car going around corners which is wallowing about and lurching from corner to corner, I find that horribly uncomfortable. These, as I said, stay very flat, and their body control through the corners is sensational. Only the sharpest ridges at low speeds will catch them out, as they do pretty much every car, in all honesty. But it's a wonderfully dynamic chassis, it really is. Brakes on the car, by the way, really good brake pedal on the car there. Positive, actuates straight away, solid brake pedal, pulls the car down nice and straight, doesn't lurch violently left or right when you hit the brake pedal. And there's no kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal at all. Looking around inside the car, which I always go on about on these Civics, I absolutely adore this interior, and I just will never tire of it. I think it's aged brilliantly. When you think the original car, 55 plates, is 14 years old now, and it still looks incredibly fresh. Beautifully built, really nicely put together car. There's no creaks or rattles from the interior of the car, but it's what it looks like to me. I just think it's fantastic. I mean, EX specs, so you got the sat nav, which is lovely and high up, hardly have to take your eyes off the road to look at the information, and then all the controls are dead simple and easy to operate. You can even use things like voice activation to tell it radio stations and various other functions, change of climate control settings if it needs be. But then this part in front of me, this brilliant 2-tier dashboard, so I can high up MPH display, I can look at the car in front but keep an eye on my speed as I'm looking at the car in front. I mean, it's just genius. It works absolutely brilliantly. That speedo, by the way, is flanked by a little econometer, which is basically green. The more green lights you have, the more economically you're driving. It's actually very good, especially on motorways. You can see just how much extra fuel you use to gain those extra few miles per hour that you probably don't really need. And to the left of it, you've got the rev. It comes up with red lights when you get close to the red line, quite sort of a sporty looking thing. Down below that, got this lovely kind of hologram effect as the dials kind of float out towards you with a huge rev counter and this floating information display in the middle of it, flanked by the temperature and fuel gauges, but all working absolutely beautifully. It really is. The whole car does. It just drives fantastically well, and as I said at the start of the video, I am here to be critical of the drive of the car, and I've been selling Hondas for over 20 years. I used to work for the Honda dealership in Bristol, so I know these cars like the back of my hand, and this car drives brilliantly. It really, really does. Having said that though, if I've missed something on the video, don't hesitate, please do give us a call.